Good evening, my name is Rashid. I specialize in building tools that are not only functional, but also intuitive to use. My journey has taken me from mastering new programming languages to diving deep into generative AI, blending my background in business with remote team building and software interface design. My current explorations are centered around generative AI, and most recently, on the emerging potential of audio as a future computer interface. You might have noticed, the voice you are hearing is not my own. I leverage AI-generated voices to articulate my ideas more effectively, separating the essence of the thoughts from my personal expression. Now, let's delve into today's topic.
Welcome to Social Experiments with Artificial Intelligence, a thought-provoking show that delves into the intricacies of human behavior, culture, and ethics. Each episode introduces you to real-world experiments, theoretical frameworks, and ethical dilemmas that serve as a labyrinth for your mind. Hosted by Rashid. We explore the social constructs that guide, and sometimes misguide, human action.
The relationship between emotion and cognition. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to delve into something profoundly fascinating, something that's as old as the human experience yet still cutting edge in our understanding. The relationship between emotion and cognition. Now, as a starting point, let's look at William James, a founding father of modern psychology. You see, James had this radical idea that our emotions are intrinsically tied to our bodily experiences. It's not just that you see a bear and feel fear. Rather, you see a bear, your body reacts, and that reaction is the fear. There's an intertwining there, a dialogue between the body and the mind. Now, let's relate this to Eastern philosophies, say Buddhism or Taoism, which have been teaching the interconnectedness of mind and body for thousands of years. Practices like mindfulness and vipassana meditation teach you to quiet the mind by becoming aware of the body. Why? Because they understood something fundamental that Western psychology is only now coming to grips with. The body is not just a vessel for the mind. It's an active participant in the cognitive process. This relationship brings to mind the work of Freud and his dichotomy between the conscious and unconscious mind. You see, Freud believed that much of our emotional turmoil resides in the unconscious. We can't just think our way out of these problems. We have to delve deep. We have to unearth these unconscious conflicts and bring them into the conscious realm. And often, this process is not just intellectual, but also somatic. Your body knows things that your cognitive mind might not yet realize. Let's also consider this from an evolutionary perspective. Why would evolution design us this way? Well, emotions serve as rapid response mechanisms, right? They are heuristics, shortcuts to action honed by millennia of natural selection. Think about it. In the ancestral environment, pausing to intellectually consider the full implications of a rustling bush could be fatal if a predator leapt out. Immediate fear, fueled by bodily sensations, could save your life. Now, James makes an interesting point about experts in any field becoming so analytically proficient that they might lose their emotional sensibilities. You become so good at dissecting a piece of music that you forget to feel it. This notion calls to mind Carl Rogers and the idea of fully functioning individuals. Rogers argues that an individual's openness to experience, including emotional experience, is essential for psychological growth. It's not just about intellectual mastery, it's about emotional authenticity. Let's be clear, this is a moral issue as well. If we go by Christian ethics, one of the virtues that are often extolled is compassion or empathy. But can you genuinely empathize if you intellectualize everything? The abstract understanding of justice is fine, But what about the felt sense of fairness, the embodied emotional understanding? Finally, let's consider the existential dimension. In the words of Dostoevsky, man is what he eats. And just as we consume food, we also consume experiences. It's essential, therefore, that we don't rob these experiences of their emotional nourishment in the quest for intellectual understanding. The mind and body, reason and emotion, have evolved in a delicate balance. Tipping too far in one direction risks impoverishing the other. And let's be very careful about that, because what's at stake here is nothing less than the fullness of human experience. So, you see, whether we approach this topic from the angle of ancient wisdom, modern psychology, evolutionary biology, or moral philosophy, the message converges. We are beings of both thought and feeling, and the harmonious integration of these facets is crucial for a meaningful life. Thank you.